Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HSEL Nationals. Today, it is going to be the semifinals. We are looking forward to seeing the matchup today between ACHS and SLP. Again, this is the semifinals as we look to try and again see which one of these teams is going to go into the opportunity to try and claim that $12,000 prize pool and spread it amongst these wonderful winners. So it is going to be again HCHL or HCHS on the left hand side with SLP on the right for red team. So we're going to go ahead and see who is going to claim victory here on this first map, which is going to be Hollywood. The 5 map pool today will be Hollywood, Kings Row, Nepal, Lijiang Tower, and Oasis. So we do have an interesting pool coming up today. 10 seconds now as these teams assemble their team to try and claim victory on this first map of Hollywood. Looking like we are going to see the Reinhardt Zarya. Pretty confident that we will also see it on SLP as well here. Looking to see now Elusive going onto that Reaper. Have seen that play before. Very confident when they come out on that character, doing a lot of damage in the back and finding those picks just like Parallax did the day prior. Also seeing that duo support coming out for ACHS with the Zenyatta and the Mercy. And again, this is a very typical comp, again, for both teams really doing it. But it will be SLP now going to have that third support. So they are going to solely rely on Toasty right now to make sure that they have that damage coming out and finding those sightlines. But it will be difficult. You are going to see ACHS make sure that they keep that Reinhardt shield high, cluster very tightly together to make sure that they do not have them in that sightline. With them on the attack, it'll be interesting to see how Toasty finds these sightlines to try and pick off the back line of ACHS. Having the match here begin in just a moment. Going to see them try to, again, aggress onto this first point. High ground will be taken by Instalock, seeing if he can try and pick off a few members. Looking to get some vision here onto Toasty in the back. Going forward now, you are going to see them try to penetrate through this archway, and they're going to have to be very careful. Again, not wanting to get picked off and trying to find the sidelines here. Toasty almost able to get a pick in the back, but doesn't manage to land it. Going to move around the backhand side of the office, seeing if they can get a nice flank here onto Humpty and see if they can turn it around with a nice pick. A lot of damage coming in, skirmishing in the front, protecting a lot of that damage with Brigitte on the front line with the duo tank support, or duo comp by the tanks on both Zarya and Reinhardt. Again, these teams getting so very low. Instalock getting a lot of healing. Humpty almost going down, and really it's just going to be finally a pick here coming out by Humpty, taking out Walrus, and that's going to be a solid pushback. Even exchange, though, you will see Toasty going down as Mr. Mango gets a nice res here to bring Instalock back online and force SLP to retreat. But now it is going to be Elusive jumping into the back, trying to get some flank damage as they are now in a very tight corner, taking a lot of damage. Looking to fall back again. That initial pick was wonderful. The res coming out early by Mr. Mango, keeping Instalock up, along with that great position by Elusive as they look to get into the back line and deal quite a bit of damage. Now starting to continue pushing forward. Again, it is going to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds as they look to try and engage with Bobo coming out with the Mercy. Now having the Valkyrie, Toasty having it with War Walrus, able to have that Brigitte ultimate. Going to use the rally as they look to move on to the high ground, giving themselves a buffer just before they drop down to see if they can get some initial damage overhead. Elusive being very careful, getting a little low and wanting to watch out. Here comes the Graviton, going to force out the Transcendence to see if they can withstand the damage, seeing if they can also follow up here with the Earth Shatter, knocking them down, getting 2 right now, as it is going to be SLP getting a follow-up. Elusive trying to turn it around with the Death Blossom, but not able to happen, and that's going to be 2 minutes here remaining as they look to finally capture this first point, and HCHS is going to try and fall back and regroup. Wonderful engage there, getting onto that high ground, finding the opportunity to get that nice buffer coming out by Walrus with the rally, giving them some initial damage to soak as they peeked over the corner and found the opportunity to drop that Graviton, allowing them to be bound together, dealing so much extra damage. The Transcendence was a wonderful reply to this usage of the Graviton, but not able to heal through the damage, forcing them to be pushed back. Look for a reset now as we look to move down the street phase over by the dry goods and bank buildings. Gonna see a nice res getting Shimo back online on this Zarya to continue pushing as a full 6-man team here, with soon to have Walrus again with the rally, but isn't gonna happen. Humpty able to get the pick. An even exchange now with Toasty getting another pick onto Instalock. Another one getting picked off in the back, finding the sightlines on that middle high ground to deal enough damage. Now taking out ESO, and they're gonna have to fall back. This is gonna be difficult. Not want to get staggered here. Elusive is gonna Wraith form to get out of there as Humpty finally gets back to the point and continues to try and protect the team, with once again Toasty on that high ground, having great sightlines on this team and finding the positions regardless of that Discord or being thrown onto Toasty immediately. 3 minutes now, rally coming out by SLP. Dragon Strike coming in to see if they can get a pick. An Earth Shatter once again coming out here by Fate, doing a lot of damage with a wonderful pin, trying to push them back away from this payload as they want to continue pushing with just this literally 1 meter left, most likely here, 1.5, and there it is. That's going to be SLP able to get to this next checkpoint and looking to go into this long haul for the last point. 4 minutes now still to go. Instalock is needing to be very careful. Do not want that stagger. They will have a nice respawn advantage, but again, staggers coming in, forcing them to be right at that last point through the doorway by the VIP spot, and now need to be careful. Wanting to wait to see how SLP is going to maneuver around this corner, having Fate along with Shimu on the Zarya pushing forward, and now going to look to try and engage. A lot of damage coming in. Humpty doing a great job continuing to rotate that shield with the Zarya shield from ESO. Trying to make sure that they give the damage, and it is going to be now that Graviton pulling them together, locking them down. So much damage coming in, and no need for the ultimate usage. That is going to be only the Graviton binding them together, pushing them back with a wonderful triple kill coming out by Zarya from SLP, and that's going to most likely be a solid push here as Fate looks to just try and get onto the point and prevent them from getting out of their spawn. That will be a wonderful push from SLP on round 1 of Hollywood. Unbelievable job again, seeing them move so aggressively with that triple support composition, allowing so much space for Toasty to continue getting the picks and dealing enough damage and harass in the back line, making sure that they're watching where they are in positioning on ACHS's position to not get picked off. Again, wonderful job here. I'm wondering if we'll see a hit scan come out on HCHS as we look to try and push out, with Toasty looking to still stay on this Widowmaker, who's again continuing to be uncontested in the back line. Nobody able to jump on him. ESO now might actually go on to the Genji, which is a little interesting. I don't know if they're going to have that just as a joke right now, dealing with only 1 tank, most likely going to switch back to the Zarya, but Elusive going to go on the Pharah. Interesting change here. Once they see Toasty, will they stay on it? Are they going to have an initial switch here to now be very careful to not get picked out of the sky? They will have the pharmacy composition with Mr. Mango, but again, needing to be very aware of where Toasty is going to be on this defensive hold now for SLP. You know, I'm not seeing that. Well, it's got 30 seconds. Let's hope that ESO is going to switch back, because having only 1 tank with this triple damage composition will be interesting. But, you know, you never know. When it comes to these semifinals, there is a lot of games that you see some strange play, trying some different techniques to throw off their opponent. SLP may not see this over-aggressive damage comp coming out, with Genji hopping into the back, managing Toasty, and now having the Pharah deal so much damage onto the front line. And it is going to be really beneficial to them if they can manage to pull this off. A lot of splash damage coming out onto Walrus, Fate, along with Zarya as well, Shimo, and that's going to be just, again, enough splash damage to hopefully lock them down. 4 minutes now as the doors open for ACHS to try and engage. Toasty getting very low in the back, and they are going to choose to stick with this comp. 1 tank right now as they're going to be very aggressive to try and push. Needing to be very careful. That Reinhardt shield almost about to go down. That is going to be devastating for them to try and continue pushing if Humpty does lose that right away, starting to push through this archway. Now having SLP look to manage that left-hand side where the server room is, seeing if they can make sure that they aren't going to get any flanks, and the damage is coming out overhead. ESO manages to get taken out here by Toasty in the back, again finding those sightlines with no real harass. Wonderful res, though, by Mr. Mango, able to keep him back online, getting the Genji up, and keeping that team a full 6 as they look to continue trying to pressure against SLP, but they're already almost reaching an ultimate here. Mr. Mango as well, but that Fate Earth Shatter is going to be crucial if they can break the shield with no other tank, and they're going to be able to lock them down. A solid minute has already been burnt off with this composition since they do not have any other tank to really support it, relying so much on the defensive pull from Humpty with that shield. Now finding the opportunity to push around the corner, you are going to see Valkyrie come out to see if they can get the extra damage. Fate now coming from overhead, seeing if he can find the attack from behind, does manage to land that Earth Shatter onto them, getting them down, pushing them into the back. Able to get a nice pin here onto Ali, able to get a nice pick on the support. Mr. Mango getting a res on Instalock to try and keep them alive in this fight, with Walrus now finally going down, only having the two supports. Fate trickling away as well, with 2 minutes and 25 seconds still to go, with 3 ultimates on both teams as they look to continue skirmishing. Dragon Strike now is going to come out, but immediately taken down by Zarya, getting a double kill here onto both Mr. Mango and ESO as they look to clean up, with Toasty getting that final pick onto Elusive. A wonderful engage coming out by ACHS, finding the opportunity to pivot around that corner and put SLP in the reserve. But with Fate sneaking on that high ground behind them, they were not aware of it. They did not see that transition, and dropping overhead, getting a wonderful connect on that Earth Shatter, knocking down 3, isolating them on this point. 1 minute and 45 seconds again still to go for this attack against SLP. Graviton is going to come out, pulling them together. A lot of damage once again with Elusive very close to the ground, wanting to follow up and push them back. You will see the Transcendence come out by Ali, able to keep them alive and continue holding for now another minute and 30 seconds. Interesting choice, not wanting to get off of this composition. I don't know if they're going to want to try to switch off here, because they do still have 2 ultimates, soon to be 4 on this engage, with ESO getting very close as well. They're going to have to be very aggressive once again, hopefully able to get a pick here, but they do have the rally. The rally gave their entire team on SLP a nice buffer to take this incoming damage. 60 seconds now still to go. They are going to look to force it. Toasty getting some great sightlines in the back. It will be ESO getting picked off, and again this damage coming out through the wall by the Dragon Strike, seeing if they can split them apart. But regardless of them being distant in numbers, they are still continuing to hold strong, with now SLP getting very aggressive with the Brigitte on Walrus, pushing them back on that high ground. 35 seconds left, still having the 2 ultimates. You will see ESO getting very close to another ultimate here. If they can unload this Dragon's Blade with the Rocket Barrage from behind, it's going to be critical for them. But again, Walrus having another rally. They have so much health right now. Death from above coming out by Farah in the back. Elusive seeing if they can get a pick, but pretty much going to do no damage to them because of that armor. Graviton pulling them together to lock them down in this archway as they just completely clean house, with 1 member remaining, looking to keep it into overtime with 10 seconds left. Only able to get 1 tick here on this point of Hollywood, and I think they're going to be at a loss for words right now, as they will not make it in time. Unbelievable first round. SLP having a great defense here against ACHS. The Panthers not able to get a solid engage there at the very tail end of it. You do see the single tank, which they wanted to have the increased damage, trying to contest against that triple support. But again, with Widowmaker being able to isolate them into certain corners, watch out where their momentum was, and really just solidly press the damage onto that Reinhardt shield, it made it extremely difficult for them to continue this aggressive push. So now that we have Hollywood over with 1 victory so far going in favor of SLP, we are going to move into the second match right now, which is going to be on King's Row. Again, another very typical used tank composition here is going to be the Zarya Reinhardt. With so many maps, you see this composition. Guarantee we will see it once again here by Humpty and ESO, along with Fate and Shimo, able to get that tank composition down and feel comfortable with it. And you will see SLP now going to go on that triple support composition once again. It is being very great for them in their overall gameplay, having this triple support. You do need to see ACHS look to try and change up their composition, maybe potentially going on the Junkrat to try and deal a lot of damage in the back, finding a Riptire to maybe isolate them in a corner, shut them down, maybe getting an early pick here as they look to push, or again, even maybe trying to, use that Pharah again. This is a very decent map for it, since I know Toasty is going to have a lot of great sightlines on this, but if they can get a lot of damage in the back, since they do favor that Pharah play, they might be able to do some work in the back. Or, even going on to a Tracer. That's, again, we haven't seen too much of that Tracer play in the back because it is so easily isolated because of the Brigitte. But with them having the triple support, trying to maybe focus on the back line, from Mr. JFL along with Bobo, it might actually work in their favor. You will see Walrus potentially moving towards the front, staying in the fray, staying in the fight with a, a Tracer, or even, again, Elusive maybe playing that Reaper in a very great way to get into the back, try and get a pick, and get out of there with the Wraith form just before they get a bash by Walrus. 10 seconds now until the defense is going to begin here for SLP on Kings Row, with now a 1 victory going to SLP. They're going to look to try and take another one here on Kings Row with a wonderful, solid defense. Let's see if they can do the same thing here. Elusive, again, needing to be watched very heavily, wanting to see if they can try and get a backline position to try and take out any of the supports, since they do have the 3 of them. Even try and force onto Toasty in the back. Looking to be into the hotel section, now getting immediately knocked back here by Walrus on the inner side, having to be very careful. And again, if he continues to encounter that Brigitte, Walrus will just over and over lock him down. And now it's going to happen. Walrus getting a pick onto Elusive. Now they start to snowball. Instalock going to be taken out by Mr. JFL, and that's going to be a solid clear here by SLP against ACHS. The Panthers having such a difficult time right now on this defensive position, as they're going to be completely forced back through the entire streets phase, getting picked off one after another. Again, this is where it's going to be extremely important for them if they do want to continue to commit to this composition and try and contest against SLP, or maybe retaliate with a triple support composition as well, or potentially pick out, like I said, that Junkrat doing a lot of damage in these tight corridors as they look to move down the streets phase and just around the bookshop. On the front line, you are going to see Toasty on the left high ground, seeing if they can get some shots. That's going to be an Earthshatter coming out, unfortunately. I don't know if that was a misclick here by Faith. Must have been, as they now don't have that ultimate, but still having Mr. JFL's that Transcendence will be crucial. Fade able to get a nice pick onto Humpty. It will force the rally as well, once again by Walrus, getting it so very quickly, with now a continuous push as they try to turn the corner here and get to this next checkpoint. Graviton once again going to pull them together. Here comes the Transcendence as well, with the Valkyrie overhead, seeing if they can continue to hold back, and that is again going to be another return with the Graviton, locking down SLP, but they have already done so much damage with Toasty in the back, continuing to just shell out damage, one shot after another, and that is going to be a wonderful, consistent push here by SLP with no real solid defense to prevent them from keeping this momentum. 4 minutes and 25 seconds. They have such a lengthy time. Now going to gain even more, reaching this next checkpoint. 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and really only having a few meters in the grand scale of this map to go. Still having a buffer from Walrus as well. This damage prevention is going to be even better for them. Elusive looking on the high ground, finding the opportunity to potentially engage, but making it so difficult. It's going to be Toasty now trying to contest on the high ground, 1-for-1, even with the Discord Orb. Dragon Strike now coming through to see if they can get into the back to deal quite a bit of damage here, but not going to be able to pick them off like they would have liked. Mr. JFL so very low, with Walrus finally going down by Humpty on the front line and seeing if they can turn it around. Humpty now going to continue pushing, with Ali getting a nice pick onto Faye, and they're going to fall back and reset. They have so much right now in time-wise generating ultimates that they are most likely not going to want to continue pushing. But correct me if I'm wrong, it is going to be a push here by Zarya from SLP, looking to continue pushing. Toasty now trying to find the sightlines to get some damage, along with the Mr. JFL turning the corner to give that Discord to his team so that they can continue to push. Another Graviton coming out. Ali doing a wonderful job once again with that Transcendence, but a follow-up here by the Earthshatter, able to lock them down as they continue to try and push them away with a few meters left to go. Damage is coming out efficiently by Bobo on the Mercy, just continuing to boost their overall push, and that is going to be a solid push here by SLP with record time. Unbelievable. ACHS is going to have to buckle down right now and really try to dive into this match hard. They are going to have to try something different, I feel. Even though, again, they do feel confident, they're really going to have to give some support here. Elusive now going to go on that hit scan. Try to Widow v Widow right now on this aggressive push against SLP, which we already know that Toasty has really, truly been uncontested almost this entire game, not only for Hollywood, but Kings Row as well. Nobody able to harass in that backline as they continue to push forward with those 5 other members, and the tactic is working, allowing them to continue having this aggressive push with a time bank of 4.5 minutes for this next attempt if ACHS does manage to take victory on this second round with the payload push. Gonna also see Instalock go onto the Junkrat. That's what I'd like to see. Trying to contest against this very heavy support grouped team comp with the three of them. They're gonna need to try this. I greatly agree with this decision here as they look to try and push around the corner. Widow is gonna try and find the picks in the back, isolating Toasty so that they can allow Instalock to continue dealing enough damage to the rest of the team. Once Elusive picks off Toasty, it's gonna open a window for Instalock to just continue raining damage with these grenades in the back line, trying to push them back, shutting down those characters, and hopefully penetrating this great amount of healing that SLP is going to have. 15 seconds now until the attack does begin as we look to get into round 2 of King's Row here, and I am really excited to see how this is going to turn out. Toasty is going to be in the back on that high ground, seeing if he can try and get some initial picks out the door, with Elusive not wanting to be on the high ground position, not going to be up there to try and 1v1 the Widow, who actually is going to reposition, seeing if he can try and peek the corner here and potentially get a shot. Seeing if Toasty will peek around the corner to try and get a clean shot. Toasty on the low ground now. Oh, and manages to get Ali. That is going to be a devastating loss. Hopefully Mr. Mango can get the res, and Toasty getting another pick onto Elusive in the back line. That is going to spell disaster for ACHS as they look to fall back and regroup, and hopefully Elusive is going to be able to shut down Toasty. Getting that damage boost here by Mr. Mango is going to definitely hurt them, and now another stagger coming out by Instalock, and Elusive is just having a rough time right now. Unbelievable, just getting picked off once again. They are going to have to be very careful, wanting to maybe see if Elusive drops down to the low ground, seeing if they can get a better vantage point on that right-hand side just behind the windows of the hotel as they look to try and regroup. And there it is, trying to see if they can get overhead, but Toasty, oh man, popping off right now. Riptire will come out though by Instalock, seeing if they can get the pick in the back line, but isn't going to be able to happen as they now continue to hold. Toasty literally doing a lot of work with Shimo and Fate holding strong in the front line, preventing them from entering this doorway by the statue. Toasty getting another follow-up here onto Humpty and just dominating right now as the solo DPS with this triple support composition. One pick after another. Elusive is going to have to force to switch, and now we're going to see the triple composition come out for supports. Instalock on the Brigitte, Ali on the Lucio for the movement speed, and Mr. Mango going on the Mercy because it does play him so very well. Graviton now is going to come out. They will have the ult advantage as they have reset 3 characters' ultimate values, trying to push forward. Still holding strong is SLP as they continue to hold and keep preventing them from pushing forward. 2 minutes still to go as Toasty gets another kill onto the supports. Wonderful job again by SLP, and I really do commend ACHS for this change. They are really trying to do everything they can to not allow this defense from SLP to keep locking them down. Looking to try and again move forward. They are going to have Instalock almost be picked off, unfortunately, but does manage to get enough healing, keeping them moving and having the momentum to try and penetrate through. Earthshatter is going to come out once again here by Fate. See if he can lock down a few members in the back, but not able to do so. ESO now out of position along with Humpty, and again, Toasty able to reign free on the high ground, getting a quadra kill by Toasty. This is just so very difficult to watch. Again, if they now may want to try and change this comp to potentially maybe a dive composition. Again, I know that they have Walrus with that lockdown, but if they maybe switch from Humpty onto the Diva or Winston to get into the back line and just finally Ollie getting a nice pick onto Toasty. Oh, but the res is going to come back up. Typical that they were going to do that, keeping him on this defensive hold and wanting to get that quick res. Another ultimate coming out here by Humpty, but it's going to be a easy return with the Graviton pulling them together. ESO able to get taken out, unfortunately, with the Widow battle going on now as Ali finally gets a pick into the back line with Toasty going down, but the damage has already been done. Res coming out to give Toasty a lot of room, along with the Graviton coming out by Shimo on this defense. Because they don't have a solid dive composition right now or any sort of, real plan to handle Toasty, it's just like you're in a rock and a hard place. If you can't handle Toasty, they're going to have a solid front line to continue pushing. If you handle them in the back line, you just can't penetrate through it. SLP now starting to lose some numbers. Instalock able to get a pick onto Walrus with another one coming out, so it will be a 5v4 in favor of SLP as they start to continue getting pushed back, looking to see if they can capitalize on the point with 5 seconds still to go. Able to get one tick and now looking for a second. They are able to rally at the tail end of this and start to push it back. Overtime does happen with now a nice Earth Shatter coming out, taking down 4 members, bringing them onto the ground. They are in some desperation mode. All ultimates being expended by SLP, regrouping, holding back, and setting themselves up to prevent this overtime capture on point A, and that's gonna be it. They are able to regroup, and SLP is going to claim victory here on King's Row. Wow. Wow, I just have to say, able to have that recovery there right at the end, starting to trigger into that third tick onto the last point. They knew not to stagger. The communication was there by SLP and doing a wonderful job knowing when to regroup, holding off, and making sure that they got back onto that point and capitalized on that ultimate use by Fate, since they were not able to keep that shield up on the aggressive side by Panthers ACHS. So now that we do have the first 2 matches going into this next match, it will be 2 in favor of SLP wanting to close it out right now, but let's not count Panthers out. We have seen them play on a control point, which we are going into Lijiang Tower, and do very well. Having this type of composition and their normal character pool is very beneficial for them. So SLP, we're going to see how they come out today on this control map to see if they can still claim victory in this third match to now move on to the finals from the semifinals. Instalock coming out on the Doomfist. Haven't seen that just yet here today, with Elusive going to return onto that hit scan for the Mercy, because again, you may see a Pharah in here. Both teams not looking like they'll pick it. They will keep Toasty though once again on that Widowmaker. The hit scan plays are wonderful from SLP right now. Toasty literally being able to do all of the damage in the back as long as they are given space. Elusive now going to go on the Pharah, which we do see very often on this map. And again, you know, with Toasty on point right now, Elusive again is going to have to be very, very careful. Having now just 10 seconds until the doors open for both teams to try and contest on this first point of Lijiang Tower. It'll be interesting. I really hope that Doomfist Instalock is able to get into the back and try and shut down Toasty to allow them the opportunity to claim victory on this map and push them into the next one, going on to Nepal as the next one. So again, we are going to continue moving forward. 20 seconds until the control point does become active, looking to skirmish in the back now just before reaching onto the point. Walrus getting a nice immediate stun onto Instalock, and that's already going to spell disaster for them. Now getting completely cleared off in the back, allowing SLP to maneuver onto this point to continue pushing them. Toasty getting a final pick here onto Elusive, making it an entire reset here for ACHS, the Panthers, as they are going to look to once again try and reposition and find the opportunity to engage. Instalock is going to have to do a lot of work here now, trying to take out Toasty, who has great positioning with some wonderful cover here by not only the wall, but both supports. You are going to have Bobo, though, going on that Mercy, giving a lot of health to the front line, but their main focus right now is to try and get Toasty out of this fight, making sure that they can isolate him and pick him off, and again, be very watchful of where Bobo is on the Mercy to make sure that they can prevent that res. Here comes the Earth Shatter now from Fate in the back line, seeing if they can push them back. Another one coming out here in the return by Humpty, see if they can lock them down. A triple kill coming out in favor of SLP as they now are starting to look to turn it around, and that is going to be another solid hold here with an entire team kill for SLP on Lijiang Tower. 40% and climbing. Gonna now see the switch onto Instalock, still having a decent amount of time in this to, again, see if they can change their composition to try and contest. Rally now coming out, again, giving so much armor to this entire team as they cluster together, making sure that they have that extra defense to try and hold back. Elusive getting picked off by Toasty, and I gotta tell you, this hit scan right now is one scary, scary shot. Triple kill coming out in the back line as they are now gonna once again have to regroup and try and push. If I were a player right now, I would be petrified and need to try and get into that back line, using, again, Instalock as that primary source of damage. Ollie getting a nice pick to onto Toasty. Gonna see a quick res, though, most likely by Bobo, getting him back online, and there it is. They will have the full 6-man as they continue to try and hold with 80% to go. Gonna force the Valkyrie here along with the Graviton coming out, looking to try and pick in the high ground, taking out Mr. Mango, getting so very close with just a sliver of health left. Finally does get it after the Valkyrie has been popped, 92%, and I do believe that's going to be a solid hold here for SLP. Graviton through the wall again, trying to see if they can lock a few members down. Ollie in the back, and they are just staggered across this map, and fortunately, that will be for ACHS. 1 round going to SLP.
Score 0-0.
Alrighty, this is going to be the last opportunity for ACHS to keep this match going. If I could call it to see what maybe would be coming out right now, it would be a Winston and a Diva to just try and ambush Toasty, cause disruption, and really potentially, you know, change their viewpoint right now. I think that would be really beneficial for them. But again, they're going to want to stay what they're comfortable with, you know, and that's very, very key to them. If they know that they can play well with it, even though they are just currently being outmatched by this triple support composition, they're going to, you know, stay strong with what they know. And at this point, I am giving them so much just positive energy right now to maybe turn this around against SLP, as the control point does become active here in 20 seconds as they look to try and get some initial positioning here with Fate leading the way. Fate now getting a little aggressive in the back line, making sure that he doesn't get picked off. Wonderful job by their supports. Again, having that triple support gives them so much pushing power, allowing Fate to be so aggressive. And now going to get a nice pick here onto Mr. Mango, along with Elusive going down. And Ali is going to be able to continue pushing. Getting a nice double kill, though, for ACHS for the Panthers, looking to try and turn it around. And they actually are going to convert it. Toasty not able to find the sightlines here on the Widowmaker, and that may be their downfall. Unbelievable. Seeing if they can now capitalize on this point, wanting to make sure that they can keep this in their favor now, as it will be SLP looking to regroup and try and engage. They are going to be staggered, though. Humpty going down, making it now a 6v5 as they look to turn the corner. Earthshatter going to come out as well, along with the follow-up here by ESO getting pinned in the back, and now easily going to turn it back as SLP pushing them away from this point, and now slowly being bottlenecked to their respawn right now. Ali having that Transcendence, not going to force anything, want to wait. Humpty also going to have that Earthshatter very soon. A lot of ultimates coming up, but you will see Toasty having that Infra Sight, which will be used very soon, with Walrus most likely going to use that rally as well to once again just continue to buffer that incoming damage by ACHS. Again, unbelievable job that they've continued to have that up. The rally now going to look for an engage right now. 1-for-1 even trade. It will be a support and a tank for each team, with Dragon Strike coming through to try and again divide the numbers here as they look to exploit them. Able to get Fade in the back, and now wanting to try and penetrate through this defensive hold. 36% and climbing as they are going to get tucked around the corner. 3 supports still alive, able to keep that Zarya ESO so topped off right now as they're going to try to continue pushing them back. Fate now is going to be back online. They're being very aggressive now, needing to be careful. Graviton is going to lock them down, looking to regroup with Fate on the point, and the Valkyrie is going to be used. Toasty in the back, really just trying to harass against the damage dealers as they are unable to get into the fight, and that's going to be another pushback here at 58% for SLP. This is going to be the last opportunity for ACHS to really get a solid engage here, potentially 2 if they get wiped quickly and need to reset. They do have 3 ultimates, though. Elusive with the Death Blossom, trying to find the opportunity to get a pick, but Earthshatter is going to come out, trying to push them back. Here comes Elusive in the back, seeing if they can get it, but it will be a forced Transcendence out in the back by Mr. JFL, able to get a wonderful defensive hold against it. Now having Humpty in return, going to get a nice triple kill here for ACHS against SLP, with Toasty getting a double now and a triple and making it even, evening the score all by himself in the back. And even though they did turn it around, once again, Toasty just demonstrating how devastating, if they're open in the sightlines, he can be. 25% and continuing to climb again. 91 for SLP. Wonderful job by ACHS, and they're going to have to, again, really be careful not to get staggered here. Humpty on the front line, getting very, very low, trying to give some cover. Wonderful job by Mr. Mango getting the healing out to continue pushing them back, with Humpty getting a triple kill here with the assistance of Ali as they regroup to hold SLP back. They are not looking to give up here on this map of Lijiang Tower. Humpty now getting that ultimate, having the Earthshatter. Ali as well. Rally coming out, though, by Walrus. Once again, they're going to have that buffer, being able to withstand some extra damage as they look to engage, with Fate now having the Earthshatter as well. That is the only ultimate they are most likely going to have for this next attempt. If they can manage to prevent that from connecting on ACHS, the Panthers, they will be in a really good spot. Here it comes now from Fate, able to get 1. I believe they're going to continue pushing. It's a double kill coming out by the Zarya. Triple kill from SLP, looking to do a rapid fire turnaround at 91% with a solid team kill. And I I don't know if ACHS is going to be able to get back in time. They are going to do one heck of a job, though, on Ali switching to the Lucio to see if they can keep it into overtime, and that's not going to be enough. That will be SLP claiming the first 3 victories here, best of 5, and they will be going into the finals tomorrow. And let's go ahead again and just wish both of these teams a just overall wonderful match that they had. Again, wanting to just continue to try and persevere through this. SLP claiming victory, now getting one step closer to that ending prize pool that they are looking to distribute amongst every player. They are guarantee you celebrating right now going into these finals. And again, it has been an awesome day for Overwatch casting once again. I am Rich Rad, your caster. It has been a fantastic opportunity to cast today. I am so looking forward to watching the matches tomorrow, since I will be unable to cast it, which is greatly unfortunate, but I am so looking forward to see how the finals turn out between the last 2 teams. It will be SLP, and waiting to see what the other one is, again, for this $12,000 prize pool to help these students put it and drive that scholarship money towards the university of their choice. Again, it is a amazing day for Overwatch. Thank you so very much for all of you who have tuned in and watched the HSEL Nationals. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. It has been an absolute pleasure. And again, definitely tune in tomorrow for the finals. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Happy gaming, everybody. Take care.
save me now. Save me now. 'Cause you're the only one who can keep me from going. Tomorrow you'll get a taste of your medicine. Tomorrow I'll disappear. Tomorrow I'm gonna lose myself with the rest of my dreams. Tomorrow, and by the time that I'm gone, maybe then you'll notice me. By the time that I'm gone, maybe then you'll notice. Believe my love, please don't go, 'cause without you I'm drifting.